Vitinha, Fernandez, Neves cannot play in the next game. They can't play together in the next game. They can't. Unfortunately, they can't do it because we're not getting our best player the ball. Something needs to change. For a neutral, probably one of the better games of the tournament. Now, for a Portugal fan, squeaky bum time. Portugal 2, Croatia 1. Oh, Juice United. I have so many different thoughts about the game. One, above all else, we won through to the next round. We're going to be facing Spain. I don't know the date, but I'm happy that we won. Cristiano Ronaldo got his goal. We're on to the next round. That's the job done. That's what you wanted to come in to do. That's what they did, right? But then when you go in and you actually analyze what was happening in the game, that's where the concerns come up, especially because of how the game went about, right? Before I continue in the video, I would just like to ask you guys to please, for me, like, share, subscribe. It'll help me a lot. I'm trying to grow this channel. I think we're at 20 subs or 18 subs. I'm trying to get to 50 subs before the end of the tournament. I'll be really grateful if you guys can assist with that. Thank you very much. Starting from the top, Roberto Martinez made one change, and that was bringing in Rafael for Joao Felix, right? Very attacking oriented team that you have fielded here, and you would expect them to not only dominate the ball, which they did, but create a bunch of chances. I don't know. Let me check the stats, right? How many chances? They had 15 shots, 3 of them on target. Croatia had 13 and 6 on target. They had more touches in the box than us. They had 4 big chances. We missed 2 big chances. I don't think that allows you to continuously make it through your matches, because eventually the underlying stats are going to catch up and you're going to lose. A better team today would have killed Portugal, and it would have been very nasty, and I don't want that to happen, especially because this is seemingly Cristiano Ronaldo's last World Cup, according to his sister and reports or whatever. This is going to be his last World Cup. I do not want to see Cristiano Ronaldo get smashed in his last World Cup. I would be very upset with that. I don't want to see it. If you lose in a great game, 3-2, it's heartbreak, of course, because it's going to be the team that you're following. But a valiant effort, you fought hard, you just lost, or you lose on penalties. It's tough, but it's kind of like, it's acceptable. Getting smashed 5-1, 5-2, whatever the fuck, like, those things cannot happen. I absolutely refuse to accept that as a reality of them getting absolutely smoked. That would piss me off beyond measure, basically. I don't want to see that happen, but the signs are there for that to happen if they don't switch this shit up. And what I'm talking about them switching is these 3 right here. This 3, Vitinha, Neves, and Fernandez, do not work together. I don't give a fuck about what they won, these 2. I don't care if they won 2 back-to-back. They can win 50 back-to-back UCLs. These 2 niggas don't work together in this Portuguese format. They function in their PSG brains where their opposition, 9 times out of 10, their opposition is worse than them. They cannot match them. So they do a lot of passing back to the defenders, passing to the side, passing to somebody that's 2 feet away from them. They don't drive the ball. They don't try to make a line-breaking pass. They do the same shit. They recycle the ball over and over again, and they don't find their best player. Bruno Fernandes is the best player, and I bet you right now, if I look in between the 3 of them, the person with the least amount of passes and least amount of touches is going to be Bruno, just for science purposes, right? Where's his passing? They don't show me his total passes? What is this? Oh, they did. I'm just blind. Okay, cool. So he had 70 out of 75 passes, right? Cool. Neves had 47. He played less and he had less touches and less passes. 51 passes, 47. Okay. They don't have his pass map. I would have liked to see in his pass map, but whatever, right? Bruno Fernandes, 31 passes. He played 62 minutes. Bruno Fernandes had 31 passes. How many touches did he have? 46 touches. Why, oh why, would your best player not have more than 50 touches, more than 50 passes? Like, it's not rocket science. You get your best player the ball, they make shit happen. He did not have 50 touches. He did not have 50 passes. Why the fuck are we not getting Bruno Fernandes the ball? The problem is these two. These two right here. All they do is pass left and right and pass back. They don't make any line-breaking passes. They don't do anything that is injecting any danger into the opposing team's box. They don't do anything that creates that moment of chaos. They don't do those things. And the person that does it is getting less touches than both of them. Why? Why? Why is Bruno the one that's isolated? And because of that, it now looks like Bruno's playing like shit. When in reality, he's not getting on the ball because the two other midfielders are doing fucking rondos with the two center backs and the left back and right back. What is the purpose of being a midfielder if you're not going to do the things that you're supposed to do? You're supposed to break lines with your passes. That's why we have you two midgets in the team, so that y'all can make these passes. That little bit of skill and trickery where you flick the ball around the corner and it takes out two people, or you pass the ball into the line and it takes out a whole line of defense. That's why we put you into, that's why you're in those places to do that. But they don't do it. So this 3 needs to not happen in the next game, because Spain will beat the piss out of Portugal if we have this team set up the way it is. They will. And it's nothing that you can do about it. I don't want to see that, but that's what's going to happen, basically. And then we have Cristiano Ronaldo. There was a tweet that I saw. If you ever play Devil May Cry, this is what you're seeing. Christie is just running into walls. He's just running into walls over and over again because he's coming into the midfield to try to touch the ball, and he's not doing anything of purpose. He doesn't have the legs to get the ball, turn, and run at defenders anymore. He doesn't have the skill to do it. He doesn't have like the explosiveness that he did when he was younger. Even 5 years ago, he doesn't have that explosiveness anymore. So him coming in to the midfield to try and touch the ball, it's kind of like, I understand why you're doing it, but Roberto Martinez, for God's sakes, brother, tell this guy, stay up front. Tell this nigga, Christie, stay in the front, bro. Like, you cannot affect the game coming into the midfield because nobody's running past you. Nobody's doing the extra run. So you're coming into the midfield, is not doing anything because you're creating space for nobody. Rafael is not making a run from the left into the middle to try and occupy that space. Neither is Pedro Neto on the right. And this is Pedro Neto's worst game in the World Cup so far. The things that were happening is kind of like, all right, I don't understand some of the stuff that was happening, and that seems to be coaching to me. And it's Cristiano Ronaldo, so he does have leeway to do whatever he wants, but at the same time, it's kind of like, you're not the peak Cristiano Ronaldo anymore. You need to follow the structure of what the team needs. So getting the best player of the ball, which is Bruno Fernandes, that needs to happen. Cristiano Ronaldo needs to stay up top. If he doesn't want to do that, make him sit on the bench until 35 minutes left in the game, 40-ish minutes left in the game, and bring him in. And then play 2 up top. I'll go through the goals. Ivan Perisic opened the scoring. A ball comes from across on the right-hand side, beats everybody in the middle, Portuguese and Croatian players. Perisic is in the back post, controls the ball. He does what he's been doing to the big teams in World Cups for years now. Gets the ball controlled, slots it into the goal. Now it's penalty stations for Portugal, right? Then we get back into the game because we get a corner's whipped in. I don't know which specific Croatian player was the person to foul Renato Vega, but Renato Vega, if he doesn't get fouled, the players are basically like draped all over him and kind of like grabs his leg and like rugby tackles him. It was weird, but he tackles him. If he doesn't get to him, Renato Vega 100% gets his head onto this diving header. I can't say he would have scored, but it would have been on target. So you mess up that opportunity. You're kind of stopping a goal. You're fouling him, whatever. It's a penalty. Nobody else but Cristiano Ronaldo is going to get that ball. Christie gets his first knockout goal. He now becomes the oldest goal scorer in World Cup knockout stage history. Another record for Cristiano Ronaldo. I don't think this one's going to go anywhere. I don't really see Maniacs playing until 41. So, congratulations, Christy. You deserved it. So, 1-1. Cristiano Ronaldo bears the penalty. Then we go on to basically like a back and forth. Croatia set up so that they would pack the middle and force them to play wide. They were playing 5 at the back out of possession. So it's really hard to do what Portugal wanted to do, which was isolate players on the wings, attack them, get across in. Like, that's what they were trying to do. It wasn't really effective because a lot of times they were running into 2 players and then having to pass back. That's part of like the tactics they had to change. What I will credit Roberto Martinez for doing is for making subs proactively, right? So the game's not really going anywhere. It's like, okay, cool. Let me make some subs. He makes 4 subs. Takes out Vitinha and puts in Bernardo Silva. He takes out Neto and puts in Conceição. Takes out Cancelo and puts in Nelson Semedo. And then he takes out Bruno and puts on Goncalo Ramos. So good. So now they're playing in a 4-4-2, which is one of the suggestions that I had for how you set up this team and get the best out of your aging 41-year-old striker who you need to get opportunities for. Because if you don't get your strikers opportunities, doesn't matter who is up there. Because you have Goncalo Ramos instead of Cristiano Ronaldo. If you don't get him opportunities, he's not going to score. They were playing 4-4-2. They still weren't creating much, right? Roberto Martinez, boldest move of his tournament so far. He takes Cristiano Ronaldo out and puts in Ruben Neves. So this is interesting because with how they were set up now, Goncalo Ramos as a super sub is a good, he's a good impact sub if you utilize him correctly, right? He's a good striker. He has good like box presence. He understands where he needs to be in order to get into position for his teammates to find him, and he does it often. Rafael on the left-hand side checks back in, sees Goncalo Ramos in, crosses the ball. Goncalo Ramos does really well, honestly, because he has 2 players draped all over him. He flicks the ball on, goes into the corner. Portugal, the arena basically explodes 2-1 to Portugal. Now, Croatia almost had like a comeback of their own because I think like the 95th minute or 96th minute, I think it was like 10 minutes left. It might have been like the 96th minute out of like 100. They get an opportunity where they kind of did something similar to what Rafael did on the left-hand side. On their left-hand side, they check back in, cross the ball, and seemingly the Croatian attacker gets a touch on the ball. It goes down, touches the back of Renato Vega as he's like ducking out the way because he's trying to see like if the ball's gonna just like sail over his head and go out. So he ducks under the ball, it hits him on the back, and then goes to Susic, I believe, and then he crosses the ball. Guardiola, who came in as like a late sub, supposed equalizer to the game that would send them to extra time, right? But VAR then takes a look at it, and they see the guy that crossed the ball second to get it before the goal was in an offside position off of the flick. So the debate online is, like they're cheating for Portugal, whatever, for a bigger team because of whatever happened. But if you look at the rules of the game, if they deem the attacker to have gotten a touch on the ball from the initial cross, if he was deemed to get a touch on the ball, then the ball touching Renato Vega when he's not actively trying to play the ball does not matter. It's like the handball rule. If I kick the ball at your hand, if I kick it directly at your hand, that's not a handball. You're not actively trying to touch the ball with your hand. You're not making yourself bigger. The ball does touch your hand. It's not a handball. Same thing. He's not actively trying to play the ball. The ball touches off his back, seemingly from the touch off of the Croatian player, which now puts the Croatian player that's on the right that got the ball after the flick on in an offside position. He's in an offside position. He's in an offside position. Can't really do anything about it. If you want to complain, you complain, but learn the rules of the game first. That's what I'm saying. And then from there, it's kind of like tough way for Croatia to go out. Luka Modric, legend of the game. This is probably going to be I'm pretty sure this is his last World Cup. Career overall is historic. Luka Modric is one of the best players that we have seen play the game of football. You've done enough for your country. Unfortunately, you weren't able to win it all, but you will always be remembered as one of the best, one of the greatest to play this game. So no shame in it. It is a tough way to go out, but it is what it is, right? Things need to change. That trio, Vitinha, Fernandez, Neves, cannot play in the next game. They can't play together in the next game. They can't. Unfortunately, they can't do it because we're not getting our best player the ball. Something needs to change. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, turn your notifications on so that you catch the rest of the videos that I have for the rest of the tournament. Hopefully, Brazil or Portugal make it all the way to the end so I can continue to cover these, because I'm only going to cover them, to be honest. I'm not going to cover the final if none of these teams are in it. I'm going to watch it, of course, because I'm a football fan, but like covering it, making a video, probably not. Once the tournament is over, I'm going to then switch over into what I'm going to be doing for the rest of this channel, which is going to be more Manchester United focused content. I've been Juice Wilson. This is Juice United. I'll catch you guys in the next video.